Assalamualaikum. For chapter 13, we will learn about the security and ethical challenges in managing information systems. The learning outcome of this chapter, first you will be able to identify the ethical and social issues in information system to all aspects of business process. To identify the wide range of issues that affect the security of information system and their content, discuss the possible threat and privacy risks in social media, and explain how organizations can mitigate ethical, societal, and security issues of information system. There is some ethical issue in information system. So the first one is privacy. So in layman terms, privacy is the state of being free from unwanted or undue intrusions or disturbance in one's private life or affair, and the freedom to be alone. So the information privacy is the right to have control over how your personal information is collected and used. And second is accuracy. For this accuracy, accurate data and information actually are important to organization in order to achieve efficiency and effectiveness in daily activities and decision-making process. Okay, next is about the intellectual property. Actually, there are debates as to who has the right to the intellectual property of information technology. And then this particularly the right to application or software. And there are four types these intellectual properties. So the first one is patents. And then next there is a copyright, trade secret, and the last one is trademarks. So this is the four types essential for the intellectual properties. And last ethical issue is about the accessibility. So the level of accessibility to information system has the threat of increasing the gap between the have and also the have-nots. Social issue in managing information system. First one is about the e-health. So this e-health is an emerging field of medical informatics. So it refers to the organization and delivery of health services and information using the internet and related technologies. Next is green computing. So this is a practice of maximizing the efficient use of computing resources to minimize the environmental impact. And then last one is community of practices, or we call it as COPS. So it uses the internet as the primary mechanism for communication, participation, and sharing, and we also know it as a online community. And according to Priest in 2000, these online communities consist of people share purpose, policies, and computer system which diminish the members' concern of location and time. Security issues in information system. So information is considered to be one of the most essential asset to an organization. So as such, it must be protected against loss, thief, fraud, and other breach of criminal act. This is to ensure that their information systems are protected and safeguarded. Organizations need to understand the information system asset. So an understanding of the nature of information system assets enables organizations to identify the threats and measures to protect and safeguard these assets. Actually, there are two types of assets. First is tangible and intangible assets. a unique characteristic of information asset is that it can the example of the tangible asset is include the computer system that consists of hardware, software, and related information technology peripherals. And the example of intangible asset is information, because information is uncountable and cannot be quantified in monetary terms. Meanwhile, some of intangible asset can be converted into tangible asset to establish value. This is such as the survey data, trademarks, trade names, license, contract, and procedure. Information security vulnerability. So this is occur when unauthorized users are able to access the information or information system and disseminate confidential information to other parties. So all these vulnerabilities are signs of weakness in business that lead to fraud, damage of brand names, loss of customer and partner confidence that have salient impact on organization reputation and probably the survival of their business. This figure introduces a model that can be used to break up security threat into different areas. So there are two areas of security threat. First is natural disaster. So and second one is human action. So for the security threat from natural disaster are occurrence beyond the control of human beings, like flood, fire, earthquake, and hurricane. So for the human action, this is divided into two. There is a malicious and non-malicious. So example of this human action is hacking and cracking. So hacking and cracking are malicious acts and related to security threat from outside the organization. The hackers enjoy going into a system to understand how the whole system work and become expert of the system. Meanwhile, for crackers are individuals who break into a system by cracking password, spoofing, and exploiting weakness found in the system. And also another example of human action is identify thief. This is one of the most serious fraud as it involves stealing money. And also cyber stalking, the use of communication technology, mainly the internet, to harass or threaten individual. So this is a definition of cyber stalking. And also crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is the act of taking a job traditionally performed by a designated agent, usually an employee, and outsourcing it to an undefined, generally large group of people in the form of an open call. This is also referred to as open innovation or as a subset of user-generated content. This crowdsourcing can be divided into 4 general categories: crowdfunding, crowd creation, crowd wisdom, and also funding. Okay, so the malicious attack from outside organization can also come in the form of computer program threats or malicious codes. We know it as a computer virus or malware. Yeah? So this is type of virus in our computer. First is file infecting virus. So this is attach itself to executable files that end with .exe, .com, and .all, and .drv. So it allows the program to execute normally by replicating itself. So it can destroy or alter program and data. Next type is boot sector virus. This is a load to the boot sector of the USB disk or master record, and it can destroy also the program and data. And next is macroviruses. So this is depends on macro language to infect the data files, and it commonly affect the Microsoft Word and Excel by changing, adding, saving a file and moving them to other files randomly. Next is script virus. So it can spread and infect files by taking advantage of vulnerabilities in the Microsoft Windows operating system. It can also destroy and alter program and data. And last one is polymorphic virus. So this is uses encryption to replicate and void detection. So it can affect, destroy or alter programs and data also. Okay, so next we have to know what is the differences between malware, spyware, and also the adware. Okay, so a malware are independent program that disguise themselves as useful application. Okay, and able to capture private information like the worm, logic bombs, and Trojan horse. Meanwhile, for spyware, and this is used to gather personal information secretly that are related to third parties that have invested interest in the information. For example, this is advertisers. So it can spyware are often installed while visiting a website by clicking on this pop-up window or when downloading a file from the internet. And for adware, adware is another form of computer program that can cause a malicious attack. Okay, so adware capture and report users' habits, preferences, or even personal information to advertiser or other third parties. Meanwhile, for spamming, phishing, and spoofing, so the differences is spam is any email message that contain many copies of the same message. They are forced on people that don't want or request for the message. Phishing is relates to email message that are forced onto unwanted recipients. And spoofing is refers to email message that appear to have been seen from someone other than the real sender, with malicious attention, such as virus writers and individuals who send spam mail. Sometimes organizations receive vast amounts of fake requests sent through their server by hostile users. So this request can cause the server to crash and making it difficult for the organization to establish a connection between its server and its legitimate clients. So the difficulty to establish connection between the server and legitimate clients is termed as denial of service. So hackers use this condition to their advantage by hijacking and controlling thousands of computers remotely to launch a massive and coordinated attack. So the advancement in wireless network create new business model in organization, particularly the electronic commerce or e-commerce business model. So as such, this e-commerce application over the internet can create a vulnerable and abuse of this e-commerce application. The hackers or crackers, this is also will attack this e-commerce application directly by evading traditional network firewalls and intrusion prevention system. And these hackers and crackers will evade into user interface web application and steal customer data, particularly customer credit card information, by adding comment into database. So this is about the differences about the denial of service, abuse of wireless network, and misuse of public web application. So the convenience and flexibility of a wireless network in providing data and information is often abused by organization or people. This is that we call it as referred to as abuse of wireless network. Organization will face many problems in securing their information system, like the ethical and social issues such as privacy, intellectual properties, malware, hacking, and spamming. This is a major security concern. That's why it is crucial for organizations to manage their information system security and mitigate the risk they face by investing in information system security. Yeah. So, but implementing successful security policy will be one of the biggest challenge organization that will encounter. So, in this section, we will explore the various steps organization that can be implemented and adopt a security policy that are manageable. This is about the we can manage with the quarantine software. So the organization can install quarantine software like the antivirus, anti-adware, anti-spyware to protect their information system. This is the example of a quarantine software that developed by software developer in the market, such as Norton Internet Security, Zone Alarm Security, McAfee Virus Scan, and etc. Many more are of the quarantine software. An organization need to install also the anti-spam software on their server to ensure that their email message don't contain unwanted message. And organization also need to select anti-spam software that is to use, easy to use, low cost and manageable, and most importantly is the effectiveness of anti-spam on mail delivery. So for the operating system penetration software, actually there are several steps that can be taken to guard against downloading free patches by hackers and crackers. This is by installing several operating system penetration software. So like the network firewall is the most common operating system penetration software installed by the organization. Yeah? This is to ensure that internal addresses are not revealed externally to unauthorized users. Next is anti-sniffware software. This is to mitigate data sniffing threat. Can also install to scan network to use encryption. Okay, spoofing attack also can be detected using this operating system penetration software. And the software can also be used to monitor system package performance and router application on the converged network. Yeah? So if any abnormal activities are detected, the software can automatically alert the responsible person. This table shows us the example of information system security threat. Yeah? So like we can see here the threat is employees, malicious, ignorant, non-employees, outside attackers, natural disaster, flood, earthquake, riots and wars. So the motive of goals usually is because of the denied services, they want to steal information, they want to damage the information, delete information, make a joke, and so on. So the method that they usually use is using the virus, like Trojan horse, worms, social engineering, mail bombing, IP spoofing, password cracking. That's why you have to regularly change your password, yeah, to secure your email example or to be safe. Yeah. And last is security policies, is vulnerabilities, assets, information and data, productivity, hardware, and personnel. So that's all for chapter 13, security and ethical challenges in managing information system. So thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.